A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to A+ English. I'm Mike.
Of course you are, and I'm Chickling.
What do you mean, of course I am? I could be Pat.
You don't look like Pat.
No, but I could be. But I'm glad I'm not Pat, and I'm glad I'm here today because we are going to be talking about a woman who changed the world by sitting in a chair. That's a pretty cool thing.
Okay.
You can change the world, you can write your name in history, and you didn't even have to stand up. You just look at someone and go, nope, I'm not standing up. I'm sitting here, and you can just live with it.
Okay.
Because we're talking about Rosa Parks. Rosa who, you say? Rosa Parks, I say. A very famous woman from America who changed the world, by sitting in a chair. Okay. Rosa Parks took a stand by sitting down. She took a stand by sitting down. Oh, that's very clever. We'll explain that in a second. But our warm-up question is, what should you do if you don't agree with a law?
You have to agree with it, or else you're
you don't have to agree with it.
No, you don't. No. You have to follow the rule, even if you don't agree with it.
Sure. Otherwise, you'll be breaking the law. Yeah. But there are things you can do. You don't just have to live with an unfair law, and that's it.
You can go on a protest.
You can protest.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I'm a coward, so I'd rather stay.
I will join you. And then other people will join us, and then hundreds, and then thousands, and then we'll change the world.
Let's all go on a protest.
We'll make signs, and we'll go on marches, and we'll go, hell no, we don't like this.
Have you been to a protest before?
I've been to a protest before.
Really? What was it about?
Sure. War.
Oh, okay.
I don't like war, and I went out with a bunch of other people who don't like war. So yeah, you can protest, you can write letters, you can contact your local politicians and say, hey, I vote for you, I pay your salary with my taxes, I want to talk about a law that I think is crazy and bad and evil, or something like that.
I hope they write you back.
Well, no, you can go down and see them. They have offices. You can make appointments and stuff. What's that?
Sometimes with this it'll work.
No,
which is bad.
No, don't do that.
So that would be breaking the law, right?
Don't break the law to change the law. So there are things you can do in a democracy, and that's the good thing. We live in a democracy. We can vote for our politicians, and we can also ask politicians and leaders to change laws. And that's happened in Taiwan. Gay marriage.
All right.
We have gay marriage now. We didn't have it before. People thought that they should be able to marry whoever they want, and so they protested, they wrote, they worked very hard for years, and they changed the law. It doesn't always happen quickly, but sometimes certain things do happen, and history suddenly starts to speed up, and Rosa Parks is one of those people who took a stand and changed the law, and she did it all in a comfy chair. Well, not really a comfy chair, but she sat down. Let's find out.
Rosa Parks took a stand by sitting down. Warm-up question. What should you do if you don't agree with a law?
In the past, there were segregation laws in the U.S. In many areas, Black people couldn't go to the same places as white people. Some of these places were schools, hospitals, and public bathrooms. Black people also had to give up their seats to white people on crowded buses. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks was on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. She refused to give up her seat, and the police arrested her.
All right, so we are going to learn about Rosa Parks, and that means going into the past and going into the country of America, or as it's called in the first sentence, the U.S. It says, in the past, there were segregation laws in the U.S. These were evil, unfair laws that separated people based on the color of their skin, which, of course, we now know is wrong. You should not do that. What did it mean? Well, it says in many areas, black people couldn't go to the same places as white people. They couldn't go the same places. They couldn't eat in the same restaurants or drink from the same water fountains. They couldn't sit in the same areas of movie theaters. Black people and white people couldn't get married. They didn't go to school together. I know, right? It's like, what? Yeah, well, this was a thing back in up until the late 50s, early 1960s. So it was a pretty bad thing. So it was a very bad thing. Do you have any personal experiences with segregation?
Not in Taiwan, but of course not in the States. But, well, it's nothing similar. But I can kind of feel the race problems. Because, I'm Asian.
Yes, you are.
When I was in the States, I would hear people making fun of Asians saying, oh, they have squint eyes. And they would do this. Like, your Mulan, something like that. It's nothing like segregation, but it's not kind of like that because we're different.
It's being racist, yeah.
But you're the white man, so you never experienced it.
Well, no, because I grew up an English-speaking person in French Canada.
True.
So our schools were separated by language.
Oh, okay.
At a certain time, you couldn't have English signs anywhere.
Oh,
so not in the same way as Rosa Parks, clearly.
How did you guys treat black people, though?
Sorry, how did they treat black people?
Back then?
Well, that's complicated. Actually, there weren't a whole lot of black people in Quebec at the time, so that's part of it.
True.
Now, there are many more, and it's a much more multicultural place where there is less of that silliness going on. But, you can separate people because of their culture, their language, their race, the color of their skin, all that kind of stuff, and it's wrong and bad. And good thing is most countries don't really do it with laws these days. More, better. It's better
now.
It's better, yeah. Anyway, so back to America at the time with this segregation, these laws. Some of these places were schools, hospitals, and public bathrooms. So black kids and white kids, not in the same school. I guess if you're a black person and you went to a hospital, maybe the white doctors wouldn't take care of you. It was like that. And public bathrooms, they had to have bathrooms for black people and bathrooms from white people. The thing is that what comes out of you in the bathroom, it's always the same color. But anyway, black people also had to give up their seats to white people on crowded buses.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
Isn't it crazy, right?
It is.
And not in like hey, I want to be nice to this old lady, so I'm going to give her my seat.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you're black. That young, this old black lady, that young white man wants to sit down. He's healthy. You're old and tired, but you got to stand up so the white guy can sit down. And they also had to sit at the back of the bus.
Oh, yeah.
The seats at the front of the bus were reserved for the white people. So, these kinds of crazy laws that we hear today and we think, no way. Yeah, it did happen. And not that long ago, as it says, on December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks was on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
So this is a city in the south of America. And a lot of these laws were more in the south than in the north. I think in places like New York City or Boston, black people and white people generally lived all around each other without these laws. But in some of the southern states like Alabama, these laws were much more common.
So she sat in the back, I guess?
Well, she was sitting down. I think it's somewhere in the middle of the bus. But anyway, in a place where a white person would be able to say, hey, stand up, I want that seat. But on that day, I think it was like at the end of the day and she was going home and she was tired, So someone said, hey, lady, stand up. And what happened? It says she refused. She said to give up her seat. She refused to give up her seat. and the police arrested her.
What the?
I know, arrested for not giving up her seat on a bus when that was a law. Okay. It's different, right? Today, if you don't give your seat up to an old person, everyone just thinks you're mean and nasty, but you won't get arrested for it. And in this case, she was arrested, and of course, the color of her skin was the big part of it. So yes, when should you try to give up your seat on a bus or on a train or something like that?
Usually, I give up my seat to like a person that looks old. Or
an older person.
Yeah, an older person. But
right? Yeah.
I wouldn't give my seat to a person that looks like that they're in their 50s or 40s because they might get upset.
Right. And you wouldn't give your seat up to like a white person or a rich person or something like that. No, because we're all equal, right? Yeah. But yeah, if they're old, if they're injured, like if they have a broken leg, a pregnant person, a mom with a bunch of kids, who just looks tired. In situations like that, it's polite, it's kind. You're showing kindness to other people. And who knows, in the future, when you have a broken leg or, whatever, you would want people to do that to you. Right? There you go. We're going to take a quick break.
In response, Black people boycotted Montgomery City buses for over a year. Finally, the laws changed. There would be no more segregation on public buses and trains. Rosa Parks' brave actions helped start the civil rights movement. Now, people celebrate equal rights on Rosa Parks Day.
So, Miss Rosa Parks did not stand up, did not give her seat up on the bus, and she was arrested and taken to jail. Now, this law had been around for a long time down there in Alabama, but at this time, things had changed, and people were starting to go, you know what? We're sick and tired of these laws, these racist laws and stuff like that. So something happened that didn't happen before. It says, in response, Black people boycotted Montgomery City buses for over a year. So apparently it was a rule of the bus company as well. So all the Black folks in town who probably use those buses a lot to get to work, to get to school, to go shopping, they're all like, we're not going on the buses anymore. So of course the bus company was losing lots of money. And that's what we call a boycott. When you say, I'm not going to buy something from that company or maybe from that country because I don't like their politics, I don't like what they're doing, or I don't like what they did. You're trying to hit them, in the wallet. You're trying to hit them in their profits so they don't make money, and that's your way of, protesting. So what would you have done if you were Miss Rosa Parks?
I would have refused to give up my seat because it didn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
So you can kill me.
And it's what? Excuse me?
Well, you can kill me if you don't agree with me.
I don't know that, but I mean, she could have gotten pushed around by the police, and other black people were killed in the South for protesting laws like this. So that is a danger, of course. Especially when you're up against a very, unfair system, authority or a cruel authority. But anyways, in this case, the good thing is she had lots of help. All the Black folks in Montgomery, Alabama, they supported her, and they also didn't take the bus. And so eventually, after a year, it took a year, finally the laws changed. Phew! There would be no more segregation on public buses and trains. Yay! A victory! So that was good. And of course, and the other thing is that this got a lot of attention, not just in Alabama, not just in America, around the world. It made the state of Alabama look mean and cruel and racist. And, so there were a lot of other people who heard the story and agreed with Rosa Parks and thought that she was very right to do what she did. So as it says, Rosa Parks' brave actions helped start the civil rights movement. And this brings us into Martin Luther King Jr. and, all sorts of other changes that came along in the mid to late 60s, which gave Black people a lot more rights and a lot more protection under the law. And they could go to the same restaurants and do all the same stuff as white people, all that stuff. Anyways, now now people celebrate equal rights on Rosa Parks Day. She has her own day.
Oh, she has her own day, yeah.
Isn't that good? So, talking about equality, that's America in the 1950s and 60s. What about here in Taiwan? Is there perfect equality in our lovely home?
I think there is.
Perfect equality? Men and women?
Still, I think men get higher salary, but still, I think we're okay.
Okay, it's not bad.
I'm pretty satisfied with it.
You know, it's not bad.
What do you think?
It could. I mean, it's not bad. It could. Some of the way that some of the workers from other countries, maybe from Indonesia.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Some of the ways they're treated, could definitely be improved.
But I think they're raising their pay.
Well, they're raising their pay, and things are better than they were. And I'd say, yes, Taiwan has a good record of, slow but steady movement towards equality. But no country is totally equal, right? But yes, I would say things have definitely improved from the way they were 10, 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, that's all the time we have. But we will come back to look at the vocab. And you're going to have something to say, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Okay, so crowded 就是拥挤的，所以拥挤的房间就是 crowded room。比如说 the crowded room was filled with lights, cameras, and reporters。那么 crowded 这个字变成名词，就是群众，它就是 crowd。那口语就是一帮好友。比如说 I saw a few familiar faces among the crowd。那我们看另外一个句子哦，这边当拥挤的是形容词。The MRT gets crowded when a special event happens in the city。这个城市只要举办特别的活动呢，我们捷运就会变得很多人。那当然这个 Rosa Parks 他就说我不要把我的那个座位给别人嘛，这个 refuse 就是拒绝，所以拒绝去做什么 to refuse to do something。 比如说 I refuse to answer any personal questions。 这边是动词哦，当名词也可以，但是它比较难，比较正式，叫 refuse， 它就是有废料或垃圾的意思，所以像是花园的废弃物啊 garden refuse， 所以注意发音是不同的哦。Now let's take a look at another sentence. Sophie's parents refused to let her use the car after 9 p.m. They think it's dangerous to drive at night. Sophie 的爸爸妈妈呢，拒绝让她在晚上9点后开车，因为他们觉得太晚了，很危险。所以我们刚刚看到这个字嘛 arrest， 所以当这个 Rosa Parks 他拒绝呢去礼让这个椅子的时候，这个警察就把他逮捕了。 arrest 就是逮捕， so to arrest someone for something 就是因为什么原因去逮捕谁。比如说 he was arrested for driving without a license， 好，因为他没有驾照，所以就被逮捕咯。那我们看另外一个句子， Kevin stole the necklace from a store, so the police arrested him. Kevin 因为从商店偷走了项链，所以警方就把他逮捕了。那我们最后讲到 equal 这个字是平等的，那名词我们刚刚有提到 Is there perfect equality in our country? Equality 就是名词，所以像是种族性别的平等，我们就可以说 racial equality 或者是 gender equality。 那我们再看最后一个句子， Every student in the class has an equal chance to learn. 班上每个学生都是有平等的学习机会哦，所以大家都不要忘记复习所有的单字。 Let's get to our review time activity now.
Review time.
Okay, so we have a little bit of time to review before we have to go. So let's look at our words for today. Crowded, refuse, arrest, and equal.
Okay.
What, are you shocked? Are you worried? Are you horrified? Are you going to start protesting these words?
I was going to say I refuse.
You refuse to what?
To play the game. No, I'm just
Why?
kidding.
You don't even know what we're going to play.
Oh, what are we going to play?
Synonyms.
Oh, great. So I don't refuse now.
Oh, okay.
I say yes. Good. That's good. What?
So we're going to be talking about words that are very similar to the words on the list. So I won't say the word, but I'll say something very similar. So if the word was big, I could say large or huge or enormous or, words that kind of mean big.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready to go?
I am.
All right. Balanced.
Balanced?
Balanced.
So something that's imbalance? Equal.
Equal. If something's equal, it's kind of balanced, right?
Yeah.
If I give you an equal number of things, that is balanced. It is fair. Let's see. Reject.
Reject. I refuse.
You refuse. You reject something. You say no, in other words. Busy.
busy, crowded
packed,
street.
crowded, a busy shopping mall, a crowded shopping mall, packed, dense, we might also say. And here's a fancy word, apprehend.
Oh.
The criminal has been apprehended.
被那个 hold, being held, arrested.
Yeah, I mean, apprehend is actually, you're right, more like catch the person. Arrest is when they do the paperwork and the legal stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. What would be another word for arrest? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
They're very similar.
But it is very similar. And often on the news, you will hear they've apprehended the criminal. And of course, when they apprehend them, then they will probably arrest them. Yes, so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Fight the power if it is evil.
Magic Box. What day is today? 今天是礼拜几啊？哎呀，为什么要问礼拜几？因为啊，我每天都在数日子哦。自从呢我的手被彼得潘切断以来，已经过了3452天，我一定要报仇。所以今天到底是礼拜几啊？哈？什么？你竟然不知道礼拜几的英文怎么说？那就让我胡船长大发慈悲告诉你吧。英文里面的星期几哦，在认识他们之前呢，要先记得一件事情：一个礼拜7天呢，每一天的开头都是大写，千万别写错了。那么我们星期一呢，就是 Monday， 星期二 Tuesday， 星期三 Wednesday， 星期四 Thursday。星期五 Friday， 比方说呢，你有没有听过 TGIF？ 就是 Thank God it's Friday， 总算是礼拜五啦。星期六呢，我们就说 Saturday， 星期天呢，则是 Sunday。提醒大家哦，很常的看到月历上面会简写哦，比方说呢，礼拜一 Monday 就会写成 MON 去前面3个字母，所以呢，下次看到就要记起来喽。除了星期几之外，年月日怎么说啊？哎呀，我就大发慈悲一起补充给你啦。首先呢，年份我们通常会把西元年拆成2个部分来念，比方说像西元1997年呢，我们就会拆成19加上97，所以呢就会直接念 1997。西元734年呢，则拆成7加上34，念作呢 734， 或是呢，你也可以依照数字来念了 734， 也是没有错的念法。那2000年以后呢，我们现在呢可以分成2010之前和之后。之前的话呢，我们就直接说2000几，比方说呢，西元2004年，我们就念作呢 2004。2010之后的呢，你就可以说2000多少，跟刚刚一样的用法。比方说呢，2010呢，你就可以念作 2010， 或者是依照我们前面的规则拆成20加10把它拆成2个部分，念作呢2010。再来呢，几月几日的念法呢？日期呢，我们就要用到一个东西叫做序数。序数呢，就是要数第一个、第2个，所以在英文里面呢，不是5月23号，而是5月的第23天这样子的概念咯。May 23rd， 注意到呢，我们这个23不是念23，而是要念成 23rd。中文啊，我们呢都说年月日，但是呢，在美国要写成日月年了。比方说呢 ，July 4th，OK，1776，OK， 1776年的7月4号。所以咯，下次再问你 What day is today， 或者是呢 What is today's date？ 今天星期几？今天几月几号？你可要回答出来啊！